freshman year of high school is when I got involved in engineering. I was the only girl in my engineering class in high school, and I was very fortunate to have an engineering class in my high school, but I was the only female. My name is Sahar. I was the hardware lead. They created a term called Sahardware, and Sahardware was to label any sort of thing that was flawed. So if something broke, if something didn't perform well at competition, if something just had to be rebuilt last minute, it was Sahardware. So what I did was I used to teach hardware workshops at that time because I used to have that STEM mentoring organization. I started calling them hardware workshops, and I kind of slowly turned hardware into the label of winning robots, because that's what my robots consistently did. They won. So this one's Kalpana Chawla. She was the first person of color female astronaut, and her story was really inspiring because she comes from the same area that my family comes from in India. So she was really cool for me when I was growing up. UT's aerospace program doesn't really have a lot of minorities, and minorities include people of color and minorities include women. I happen to be both of those. The aerospace department actually didn't used to have very many women at all. Within the past 15 years, we actually built women's bathrooms in our aerospace building. So before I joined AIAA, you usually had 0 to 1 female officer on the 15-member officer team. This year, we have a 50% officer team, which is the first time this has been done in the AIAA chapters in the South. Next year, I will be the first female president, which is the first time this will happen in AIAA Texas region. So representation is really important. And that's something that I've been trying to focus on, at least with one of my orgs.
I actually met Sahar through Hyperloop. At first, I didn't know who she was that much, but we started working together. And then once I became an operations lead, we started having meetings with all the leads. And her being an aerospace engineer, we had a very direct connection. And through that, we also ran AIAA together. So we have a very close friendship now. It would be hard to say that you can't see a difference that she made. I can attest to the fact that she's been the most involved, the most dedicated member in Hyperloop while I was still in the organization. She was serving as the electrical team lead. She really put a lot of work, a lot of her, I guess, footprint on the pod. You can tell because she put in so much time into writing all the documents, and now she's serving as the vice president. And even when she was there, I can see her trying to promote female engineers to come in and take more participation in the organization.
I think a lot of women get called a lot of different things that a man wouldn't in this industry and in this environment. The amount of times that I've been called a bitch since the freshman year of high school is just it's an unfathomable number. Your first reaction is to feel angry, and your second reaction is to blame yourself and accept that their dismissal was right. But I've kind of learned through my experience that's not the way to react. The way to react is to stay calm and stand your ground. I want to be a logical person. I want to be technology oriented. And if that means that I'm bossy and that makes me a bitch, I'm gonna go with it.